It feels like a distinctly modern sickness. It feels like a complete failure of your own willpower. You tell yourself to put the device away. You promise yourself you will stop looking at the news. You know it is ruining your sleep. You know it is fraying your nerves. Yet the endless cascade of tragedy pulls you back into its digital undertow every single night. You lie awake, bathed in the blue light of your own anxiety. Is this a glitch in your modern mind? Is there something fundamentally wrong with the way you are wired? To find the real answer, you must leave the present moment entirely. You must step away from the notifications and the breaking news alerts. You must rewind the clock. For roughly 300,000 years, your ancestors lived without news feeds, infinite timelines, or digital alerts. They navigated a physical world bounded strictly by the visible horizon. Their reality was only as large as the distance they could walk in a few days. For the last tiny fraction of a percent of human history, that horizon was suddenly and violently shattered. The boundaries of your world evaporated. You now hold the localized suffering of 8 billion people in the palm of your hand. Did your brain somehow change to accommodate this massive shift? The answer is hidden in the deep architecture of your mind. Your brain is not broken. It is not malfunctioning. It is working exactly as it was designed to work by millions of years of evolution. In the year 2001, a research psychologist named Roy Baumeister published a landmark paper titled "Bad is Stronger Than Good." He documented a foundational human trait called negativity bias. This is the psychological term for your brain's deep-wired habit of reacting more quickly, more strongly, and more persistently to bad news than to good news. It is a profound biological survival mechanism baked directly into your neurology. A compliment from a stranger fades from your memory in an hour. An insult from a coworker echoes in your head for a decade. A sunny day is easily forgotten. A near-miss car accident haunts your dreams. Why is your memory built to harbor the dark? In the ancient savannah, the arithmetic of survival was brutal and unforgiving. The stakes of attention were a matter of life and death. Missing a piece of good news meant you missed a sweet piece of fruit. Missing a piece of bad news meant you became the meal. Your ancestors had to obsess over threats to stay alive. They had to actively seek out the negative data in their environment. A rustle in the tall grass was not ignored. It was deeply, obsessively analyzed until the threat was either resolved or escaped. The early humans who ignored the bad news did not survive long enough to become your ancestors. The optimists were eaten. The paranoid survived. So you are the direct descendant of the chronically anxious. Is your modern doom-scrolling just the digital version of staring intently at the rustling grass? But ancient humans did not just look for physical danger in the immediate moment. They did not just rely on their own eyes and ears. They also actively sought out negative social and environmental information from others. They were desperate for it. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent decades studying the Ju-Hohansi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert. She wanted to know exactly what early humans talked about when the sun went down. She meticulously recorded and analyzed their nighttime campfire conversations over many years. The results were revealing and completely counterintuitive to the idea of peaceful ancient life. During the day, their conversations were mostly economic. They focused on gathering food, complaining about the heat, and managing practical daily tasks. But at night, illuminated by the fire, the talk shifted dramatically. 81% of their nighttime conversations were stories. And these were not just happy myths or light-hearted jokes to pass the time. They were detailed accounts of distant social tensions. They were stories of predators circling the camps. They were warnings of human failures, betrayals, and incoming dangers. They were sharing critical threat data. They were syncing their collective anxiety to prepare for the unknown. Were they doom-scrolling the dark? You do the exact same thing today. You just use a completely different light source. When the sun goes down, you retreat to the isolation of your bed. You illuminate your face with a cold, artificial glow. You begin to cycle through the modern equivalent of campfire stories. A military conflict in a distant country, a new virus spreading in a neighboring city, an economic collapse looming on the horizon, a political scandal threatening your way of life. Your brain thinks it is doing the responsible, ancient thing. It is gathering threat data to keep you safe from the dangers hiding in the dark. It is trying to map the perimeter of your world. Does your neurology know the difference between a predator in the brush and a headline on a screen? The problem is not the instinct itself. The instinct is pure. The problem is the sheer scale and design of your new environment. In the late 1990s, researchers Peter Piroli and Stuart Card at the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center developed a concept called information foraging theory. They discovered that humans navigate the internet using the exact same neurological pathways that animals use to forage for physical food. We hunt for data. We follow invisible scent trails of information across the web. We assess the cost and benefit of clicking a link the exact same way a wolf assesses the energy required to chase a deer. When you see a terrifying headline, it emits a powerful psychological scent. Your brain demands that you follow it to secure the vital survival data hidden inside. In the ancient world, both food and threat data were incredibly scarce. You had to hunt tirelessly for them just to survive another day. In the modern world, the data is infinite. The algorithm acts as an artificial superstimulus. It feeds you an endless, highly optimized stream of the very threats your brain is desperately starved for. It knows exactly what scent you cannot resist. How do you survive an environment that gives you exactly what you want? Trace the behavior back to its root, and the underlying gesture is identical. Only the surface has changed. Imagine the prehistoric night. A figure sits hunched over the glowing embers, shadows dancing on the cave wall. They are listening intently to a story about a neighboring tribe's violent collapse. They feel a sudden spike of fear in their gut. They absorb the details to protect themselves and their family. Now look at the present moment. You sit hunched over a glowing rectangle, the blue light reflecting in your eyes. You are reading about a societal collapse on the other side of the planet. You feel that exact same spike of fear in your gut. You absorb the details under the illusion that knowing about it will somehow protect you. It is a parallel reflection spanning hundreds of thousands of years of human existence. But there is a crucial difference in the architecture of these two moments. What truly separates the ancient fire from the modern screen? The twist lies in the resolution. The ancient campfire eventually burned down to ash. The stories ended when the speakers grew tired. The tribe went to sleep, comforted by the fact that they had shared the burden of survival. The threat was localized, and the information had a definitive limit. The anxiety served a concrete, immediate purpose. But the digital fire never goes out. It does not need wood. It does not need oxygen. There is always another swipe. There is always another tragedy loaded right beneath your thumb, waiting to be consumed. There is no natural endpoint to your modern foraging. You have a biological mechanism that tells you when your stomach is full of food. You have no biological mechanism to tell you when your brain is full of fear. Your brain is a machine built to gather negative information until it finally feels safe. But the internet is an environment specifically designed to ensure you never feel safe. It is an evolutionary trap disguised as ultimate convenience. You think your doom-scrolling is a sign of your modern anxiety. It is actually a sign of your ancient instinct trying desperately to protect you in a world that cannot be controlled. You are not broken. You are simply lost in a limitless savanna. Your vigilance is a testament to the sheer survival will of your species. But that vigilance is now being harvested by the very tools you use to view the world. Your evolutionary armor has been turned into a cage. Is this the inescapable price of total connection? Or is this just the modern cost of being human? You sit in the quiet of your room. You feel the glow of the device on your face. You drag your thumb across a piece of illuminated glass.